Hello, my lovely, and welcome back to the Leader Within podcast. I'm your host, Sue-Ann Higgins. Over the past episodes, we've explored how AI can help you escape the try harder traps of leadership and really distill your leadership thinking so that you can be more strategic in the way that you approach your day-to-day leadership role. Today, we're shifting gears to talk about something that's equally transformative, but often misunderstood, and that's coaching. If you've been with me since episode 1, you know that what we've built together has been about helping you lead from within, break through those plateaus, and create an impact, the impact that you're meant to have. But here's what I've discovered with my work with hundreds of women leaders. Many of you have not actually experienced real coaching, or worse, you've had a diluted version that's often missed the mark entirely. Today, I want to challenge a belief that might be keeping you stuck, address some of those myths about what coaching actually is, and help you understand why waiting for your organisation to offer it might mean that you're waiting forever. I constantly hear this from women leaders. Good leaders should be able to figure it out themselves. If I need coaching, it means that I'm not capable enough. And I get it. We've all been conditioned to believe that needing support is some kind of weakness, that asking for help signals incompetence, that truly capable leaders have all the answers and can navigate every challenging situation solo. So society has taught us that struggle equals strength. This is another version of the try harder traps we've been exploring. It's a belief that if you're meant to be a leader, you should be able to figure it out on your own. But let me ask you this. Do you think less of a CEO who has a board of advisors? Do you question the competence of an athlete who works with a coach? Or do you think a surgeon is weak because they consult with a specialist? Of course not. Every top performer in every field leverages support to amplify their capabilities. Serena Williams has coaches throughout her entire career. Was she not capable enough? Oprah Winfrey often talks about multiple coaches and mentors. Did that diminish her leadership? Here's what's actually happening. While you're exhausting yourself trying to figure out everything alone, other leaders are strategically investing in coaching to accelerate their growth, gain clarity faster, and break through plateaus that otherwise may take years to overcome. Real coaching isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating space for you to think more clearly, challenge your assumptions, and develop solutions that align with who you are. But here's the crucial insight. The most transformative coaching isn't the kind that your organisation offers. It's the kind that you choose for yourself. When you wait for your organisation to offer coaching, you're essentially saying, I'll invest in my development when someone else decides I'm worth it. But when you invest in coaching yourself, you're declaring, I am my best asset and I'm committed to my own growth. If you keep believing that good leaders don't need support, you'll stay stuck in that pattern that could be transformed. You'll be solving the same problems over and over again instead of evolving beyond them. So ask yourself, do you really want to keep exhausting yourself trying to figure everything out alone when there's a better way? Your leadership development is too important to leave to chance. Let me tell you about a pivotal moment early in my career that taught me the difference between real coaching and what often passes for it in organisations. I was offered coaching by a senior executive who was also my boss, someone I deeply respected. At the time, I thought it was a privilege, and in many ways it was. He was brilliant, experienced, and genuinely wanted to help me grow. But here's what I discovered. Even though he had the best intentions, I couldn't bring my whole self to the conversations. When I was struggling with imposter syndrome, I couldn't admit it. When I was doubting my decision or feeling overwhelmed, I found myself presenting a polished version of my challenges. I didn't want to seem incompetent to someone who had influence over my career trajectory. One day, I realised I was spending more energy managing my own boss's perception of me than actually working through my leadership challenges. I was getting advice and guidance, which was valuable, but I wasn't getting the space to really explore my struggles, my fears, and my blind spots. That's when I understood the fundamental limitation of organisational coaching, particularly when you be coached by your boss. You can't be fully vulnerable when there's a perceived connection to your performance review, your promotion prospects, or your professional reputation. And vulnerability, that willingness to examine your thoughts, admit your blind spots, and explore your fears is exactly what's required for breakthrough coaching. This experience taught me something crucial. Real coaching isn't about getting advice from someone more senior. It's about having space to explore your own thinking, challenge your assumptions, and develop your own solutions. Years later, when I invested in my own coaching with someone who had no connection to my organisation, everything changed. For the first time, I could admit that I was second guessing myself constantly. I could explore my relationship with perfectionism, and I could work on the mental patterns that were holding me back, not just the visible leadership skills. That's when I realised the power of self-invested coaching and why waiting for the organisation to offer it may mean you're missing out on the most transformative development opportunity of your career. So let me clear up some other misconceptions, because what many people call coaching isn't actually coaching at all. According to the International Coach Federation, coaching is a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires clients to maximise their personal and professional potential. That key word there is client-led. Real coaching isn't about the coach having all the answers. It's about the coach helping you access your own wisdom. It's not advice giving or problem solving for you. It's creating space for you to think more clearly, challenge your assumptions, and develop solutions that are aligned with who you are and what you want to create. Here's what coaching looks like. Your coach asks powerful questions that help you examine your thinking. They hold the space without judgment while you explore your challenges. They help you see patterns that you might be blind to. They support you in developing new approaches that feel authentic to you. What coaching is not. It's not mentoring where someone more experienced shares what worked for them. It's not therapy where you work through past trauma or psychological issues. It's not performance management where someone is evaluating your work. And it's definitely not consulting where an expert tells you what to do. This confusion happens because many organisations use these terms interchangeably. They'll say they're offering coaching when they're actually providing mentoring or performance feedback. And here's what I want you to understand. Real coaching requires psychological safety. You need to be able to share your real struggles, not just the ones that are safe to admit. You need to be able to explore thoughts like, I don't feel qualified for this role, or I'm terrified of that difficult conversation, or I have no idea of what I'm doing. When coaching is connected to your organisation, even indirectly, that safety is compromised. You're managing impressions instead of exploring truths. Let me break down for you the four main reasons why organisational coaching, even when it's well-intentioned, often misses the mark. First, you don't get to choose your coach. Organisations typically work with a panel of coaches and you're assigned someone based on availability, not chemistry. But coaching is deeply relational. If you don't trust your coach or feel a connection with them, the transformation just isn't going to happen. It's like trying to have therapy with someone you don't feel safe with. You'll go through the motions, but you won't do the real work. Second is the scope. The scope is usually work only. Organisational coaches are often expected to stay in the professional lane. They focus on leadership skills, communication, and performance issues. But the reality is your leadership challenges are rarely just about work. They're connected to your relationship with perfectionism, your fear of conflict, your imposter syndrome, your boundaries between work and life. When coaching stays surface level, it addresses the symptoms rather than the root causes. Third, there's a hidden agenda or explicit agendas. Even when organisations say coaching is confidential, coaches often feel pressure to align to corporate goals. They might ask for general feedback on the coaching process. They'll know their contract depends on the organisation being happy with the outcome. This influences the space they create in the conversations that they're willing to have. The fourth is it's typically reserved for the executives in the golden inner circle, the top 5 to 10% of leaders. Most middle leaders never get access to coaching through their organisation. And when they do, it's often from a line manager or a HR person, or because there's a performance management issue, and it's performance management with coaching language. I learnt this lesson when I was coached by my manager early in my career. Every session felt like evaluation. I was focused on giving the right answers rather than exploring my real challenges. I left feeling more pressure, not more clarity. The result of all these limitations is that you get advice and guidance, which can be helpful, but you don't get that transformative space to reconstruct your thinking and develop your authentic leadership voice and leadership presence. So the question then becomes, how do you choose coaching that actually works? If you've decided that investing in coaching might be the strategic move for your leadership development, you're probably wondering, how do I choose a coach that will actually create transformation, not just feel good conversations? Here's what most people don't realise. Not all coaching is created equally. You can invest thousands of dollars and months of time in the wrong approach and end up exactly where you started, or worse, more confused than before. Let me walk you through the 5 non-negotiables for choosing a coach that creates real breakthrough. First is chemistry over credentials. Your coach could have every certification in the world, but if you don't feel psychologically safe with them, transformation won't happen. You need to be able to admit, I have no idea what I'm doing, or I'm terrified of that conversation without feeling judged. Look for a coach you feel comfortable being vulnerable with. If you find yourself managing their perception of you during the discovery call, keep looking. Second is methodology that goes beyond the surface. Ask potential coaches about their approach. Do they have a systematic method for creating breakthrough? Or are they just winging it with good intentions? The most effective coaching addresses 3 levels: your inner world, how you experience yourself; your outer world, how others experience you; and the external world, the environment that you're navigating. Surface level coaching that only focuses on skill will leave your deeper patterns unchanged. Third is focused on root causes, not just symptoms. If a coach immediately jumps into action planning without understanding what's really keeping you stuck, there's a red flag. Real transformation happens when you address your thinking patterns that create your challenges, not just the visible behaviours. Your leadership challenges are rarely about work. They're connected to your relationship with perfectionism, your fear of conflict, your boundaries. Look for a coach who is willing to go there with you. Fourth is proven process for sustainable change. Ask your coach what their track record is. What specific transformations have they helped create? How would they ensure changes stick beyond the coaching relationship? The best coaches use brain science principles to help you rewire your thinking patterns. They understand that lasting change requires more than insights. It requires new neural pathways. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, is the need for a true confidential sanctuary. The most transformative coaching happens in the space that is completely independent of your organisation's influence or agenda. This independence is what guarantees the psychological safety you need to explore your real challenges, not just the ones that are safe to admit. This ensures that their agenda is 100% yours, which brings us to the most common question I hear. But where would I even start? The first crucial step in any coaching journey is to get crystal clear on your primary challenge. It's the very first thing a great coach will help you uncover. In fact, I've created a specific experience to help you do just that, called the Power Move Blueprint. And I'll share more about it and how you can get started with it after we wrap up. For now, just know that you don't have to have it all figured out before you begin. Remember, the right coaching relationship will be the best investment that you've ever made in yourself. But the wrong one will cost you more than just money. It will cost you your time, energy, and potentially your belief in your ability to change. Choose wisely and choose you. When you invest your own money in coaching, something powerful shifts. You're not just receiving development, you're actually choosing it. That choice changes everything. First, you get to select a coach who resonates with you, whose approach aligns with what you need, whose expertise matches your challenges. You're not stuck with whoever the organisation assigns for you. Second, you can bring your whole self to the conversation. You can admit that you're struggling with confidence, that you're overwhelmed, that you don't have all the answers. You can explore how your personal life is affecting your leadership or how your leadership challenges are spilling into your personal life. Third, the agenda is entirely yours. You're not working in what the organisation thinks you need development in. You're working in what you know is holding you back. You can spend time on the inner work that creates lasting change, not just the visible skills that look like a good development plan. But here's what I want you to address directly. Some of you thinking, that sounds selfish. Wouldn't I wait for my organisation to invest with me? Let me reframe this for you. Investing in your own coaching isn't selfish, it's strategic. But I know the question of, is it worth it, is a really big one. So instead of me telling you, I want you to hear the tangible return on investment directly from Jackie, a leader who I've coached.
For me, it has actually added a third to my salary over a period of 5 years. So it has definitely worth the investment.
A third of her salary. That is the incredible power of investing in the quality of your thinking. It's not an expense, it's a direct investment in your value and your impact as a leader. Now, some of you might be thinking, this is all great, Sue-Ann, but I don't even know what I should be coached about. I have so many challenges. Where would I start? This is one of the most common fears I hear, and it's completely understandable. When you're already feeling overwhelmed or stuck, it can seem like everything needs attention. You might be struggling with confidence, dealing with team dynamics, feeling overwhelmed by your workload, or questioning your leadership ability at the same time. But here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of women leaders. Most of your challenges are connected to one core plateau. When you address the underlying plateau, the other issues are often resolved naturally. Remember in episode 3 when we talked about the 3 types of plateaus? The leadership plateau, where you feel invisible despite your contributions. A performance plateau, where you're working harder but not seeing results. And the self-belief plateau, where that inner critic is getting louder. The key is to identify which plateau is your primary challenge right now, and then focus on one specific area that can help you break through. And this is precisely why the very first step in a coaching process is always about getting that clarity. It's why I've created a specific high touch experience to guide you through that initial discovery, called the Power Move Blueprint. It's designed to take the guesswork out of where to focus on so you can make strategic progress instead of scattered effort. And I'll share a little bit more about that and how you can get your own blueprint after we wrap up. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a final thought. The journey to becoming a more intentional leader isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about transforming the quality of your thinking. But the biggest question always is, what thought do I need to reconstruct? Because often we're not aware of those thoughts that are on autopilot that are keeping us there. That's why I've created a powerful first step for you. It's a one-on-one coaching experience I call the Power Move Blueprint. Now, don't worry, you don't need to book a call or get online with me. It's a personal deep dive with me, facilitated through Video Ask. I ask you some prompt questions and then personally review your reflections. I then do a video coaching session just for you. In it, I will give you your one power move, one clear shift for immediate relief, and your 30-day blueprint to make it stick. You'll get a one-page summary and a golden ticket to my next group coaching call, the Leader Within Collective. It's online via Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. This entire high-touch experience is just $67 Australian dollars, because I know that having a clear plan is the first most critical step to a real breakthrough. If you're ready to move from feeling stuck to having a clear plan, it's time to get your Power Move Blueprint. The link is right there in the show notes. Next episode, we'll be diving deeper into what makes coaching different from everything else you've tried. If you've ever wondered about the difference between coaching and mentoring, or why some development approaches work while others don't, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep leading from within, my lovely. And remember, you're only one reconstructed thought away from the breakthrough you deserve in your leadership journey and in your life.